This is Shred, and today, well, we're all feeling a little bit caged from this lockdown. So, it's the perfect time to discuss the most powerful system for learning chords on guitar, the CAGED system. The CAGED system provides us with the best arpeggio shapes for metal guitar. Marty Friedman, John Petrucci, Paul Gilbert, Tosin Abasi, you name it, everyone uses these shapes. They're incredibly powerful, unlocking access to the neck and bequeathing you with super shred power. Now, everything I play in this video will be available at my Patreon page below. So grab your axe and let's get to it. Now, I know we're all locked up inside at the moment, but I'm going to give you the key to release yourself from musical quarantine. All right, so here's how the CAGED system works in a nutshell. It's an acronym. CAGED stands for the open position chords. You've got the C chord, and when we move that shape out of the first position, it becomes an arpeggio shape. Next, you have the A form, which coincides with the open A chord. And that shape looks a little different when you play it out of the first position, because there's no open strings anymore. You have to fret all the notes. The G form stands for the G chord. Now this is a gnarly form. Definitely the least common, I would say, of the 5 shapes. Then you have the E form, based on the E chord. Also very popular. And finally, the D form, based on the D chord. This one's also less utilized, but a killer shape nonetheless. Billy has 7 guitars. He just bought 2 more. What does he have now? Happiness. Billy has happiness. All right, so let's go into a little more depth on each of these patterns. Starting with the C form. Of course, C stands for virus. So the C form, built on the C chord, this is probably my favorite shape. And we'll learn all these on an A note. So if you go up to the 12th fret, that's the way the shape looks. And there's a minor version of each one of these shapes. Now, one exercise that's really great to do is to take a form like the C form and run it through each diatonic arpeggio within a key. Let's say you have D major. So I'm going to start on the 5th fret of the A string. It's our 1 chord. This really gives you a good map of how the arpeggios interconnect within a key. All right, moving on to the A form. Of course, A stands for asinine. Not really sure what that means, but I like the sound. So, built on the A major chord, the major shape on the 12th fret, that's the major version. The minor version, you flat the thirds. And again, you could take this exercise diatonically through a key. Now the G form stands for good grief, that's hard. This is definitely the most awkward of all the shapes. So it's built on this chord shape, and when you move this chord shape out of first position where you have open strings, it creates kind of a gnarly pattern. That's the major shape, flat the thirds to make it minor. But here's the deal with all these shapes. Try modifying them in your own way, and you might come up with some cool variations. A lot of times I take the G shape and kind of just play a part of it and make it Lydian. That'd be like a D Lydian arpeggio there. Okay, moving on to the E form. E stands for egregious, which is very cool to say. So it's built on the E major chord in the first position. So here's the major shape and the minor shape. Now here's a fun exercise. You could try playing through the canon in D progression, right? Which is D, A, B minor, F sharp, G, D, G, A. Try that with arpeggios. Now you could do that exercise with every one of these shapes if you wanted. G would be brutal. The unfair life of guitarists. Dream theater, picking at 260 beats per minute. Baby, 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 and you get. Okay, finally we've reached the D form, built on the D major chord. And this is actually a really cool pattern that's not utilized very much. Here's the major shape and the minor. The D form stands for damn, that's difficult. Now once you get these shapes down, I promise you're going to see them everywhere in metal music. And I want to emphasize something really important. These shapes are just templates. Feel free to inject your own personality in them, change the notes a little bit. Basically, once you know the rules, try bending them. Until next time, shred till you're dead.